join me. Today, I am reading some books. In this gorgeous lighting, too. Bright lighting, but gorgeous lighting. Before I start this video, I would like to explain that to me, I want this video to be much more of an experience than a challenge. So even though I will be reading for 24 hours, it's not going to be a strict 24 hours. So what I mean by that is, if I get hungry, I'm going to eat some food. If I get beyond tired and I cannot comprehend any words I'm reading, I'm going to get a little bit of sleep. So it will be 24 hours, but it won't be Mr. Beast style 24 hours. It'll instead be, let's read, let's enjoy our time. So I am currently working on Anne of the Island. It is the third book of the Anne of Green Gables series. One more thing before I begin reading is any books I am reading today will most likely have some form of spoilers because I will be talking about what I'm reading and my reactions or whatever comes up in the book. But I would like to remind you or say that Anne of Green Gables does not rely on surprise factor. So even if you've never read these books and I say something and you're like, oh, I didn't know that was gonna happen, still read the books. Hey Google, set a timer for 24 hours. Please. It's hard to read with mittens on. Oh yeah, I forgot she was being proposed to by that one person. In this book, Anne gets proposed to so many times, and let's be honest, none of them really do it right. I'm back inside now, clearly. Listen to this. Just think of all the great and noble souls who have lived and worked in the world, said Anne dreamily. Isn't it worthwhile to come after them and inherit what they won and taught? And think of all the great people in the world today. Isn't it worthwhile to work a little and prepare their way for them? Make just one step in their path easier? We got to the part. Roy is proposing to Anne. I already knew this was going to happen, but it still is just as good. The poor guy. Phil is saying, I'm bad enough for not knowing my own mind, but you are worse. Because Phil can't really make any decisions ever. And then Anne says, I do know my own mind. Trouble is, my mind changes and I have to get acquainted with it all over again. Yeah, that's like the truest thing I've ever heard. I'm almost done. I'm to a book of Revelation. Oh. This author knows how to write. That's all I'm gonna say. Gilbert is just so sweet. He's just great. Starflower. Where's my phone? I've never heard of a starflower. Oh, that's pretty. But look at that flower. That's so nice. Anne is putting them in her hair for a wedding that she's attending, so I had to look up what they were. I said this with the last book too, but I think that's my favorite book of the whole series. I took a little supper break and a recharging, cleaning out the camera break. So now we are going to start reading the next book, and seeing as I just finished Anne of the Island, you would think that of course I would read the next book in the series. No, we're not doing that. I put this on my Instagram a while ago, but we have this little community book box in our neighborhood, and usually the books in there are kind of weird. Like right now people are starting to put just magazines in there. I technically don't think that's correct to do, but it's okay. And there was one time though when I actually saw a book, I'm like, oh, I recognize that book. So right here, Crazy Rich Asians. This may make some people mad at me, but not only am I going to be reading this book, I'm going to be highlighting my book. I doubt I'm gonna want to keep this book after I finish reading it, so my thought is I will highlight it, I'll leave a little note in the front, and then when I'll put it back in the book box, so then the next person who reads it can read this and have my little opinions in here in a way, so then they can feel like they're reading it with someone else and feel connected. I know I would love this. I don't know if someone else will, but technically I own this book, so I can do what I want with it. So I've got this one, which means sweet/romantic, so it's not always going to be couple romance. It could also be like, oh, that was a really sweet friendship moment. This one is I like that, usually in the terms of literature or writing style. And this one is some quote or some message that would be really nice to just keep with you. And then if it's not as important, or if the paragraph's just too big to highlight it, then I will underline or sort of put the paragraph in brackets with a pen. Here's my little makeshift table. Oh, there's more books to this. Okay. I only ever hear people talk about the first one. When New Yorker Rachel agrees to spend the summer in Singapore with her boyfriend Nicholas Young, she envisions a humble family home and quality time with the man she hopes to marry. But Nick has failed to give his girlfriend a few key details. 1, that his childhood home looks like a palace. 2, that he grew up riding in more private planes than cars. And 3, that he just happens to be the country's most eligible bachelor. On Nick's arm, Rachel may as well have a target on her back the second she steps off the plane. And soon her relaxed vacation turns into an obstacle course of old money, new money, nosy relatives, and scheming social climbers. So I don't have a lot of hopes for this book. You watch kind of like rom-coms where you never really like the movie, but you totally like the movie. That's what I'm thinking this book's gonna be like. Where by the end of it, you end up giving it 4 stars somehow, while the entire time you're watching it, you didn't actually like it that much. I don't know if that made sense. I don't want to read the family tree. This is a good test of character. When you start a book, do you read the prologue or do you skip it? Usually what I do is I start reading the prologue, but if it doesn't make sense or if it's really boring, then I'll skip it. And then if the book ended up being really good, at the end of the book, I'll go back and read the prologue. I think we're gonna have to add another highlighter to this book. Alright, I changed it. So this is still romance and sweetness. Green is now quotes and well-written parts of the book. And blue is I just want to throw something. It's frustration, anger, my venting color. And don't let go of your hold on me. Okay, so I just took a short break. If I wasn't gonna tell you this, but we're gonna be honest in this video. So I just took a short break to watch Louis Tomlinson's Cincinnati tour live on Instagram, because it's been kind of a routine of mine whenever he does a tour. I watch the lives on Instagram, so I'm like, I'm still doing that. That is currently a basic human need. So now I'm going to get back into reading this book. Oh, that's cute. So I'm really enjoying reading this, and I like how they put the definitions at the bottom for all the words that we may not understand. I reached chapter 12 in my book. I don't know if you can see that, but I reached chapter 12, which is fitting because it's 12 o'clock. So technically it's actually the next day because it's 12:06. So happy Sunday. But I'm now gonna make the transition down to my bedroom, and I'll probably just read down there some more. But I don't know how long I'm gonna last because I am getting tired. Welcome to my humble abode. Currently, I haven't gotten very far, so there could be some character changes, but currently, as I'm sure it is for most people, my favorite character is Astrid because she's pretty great. The interesting thing about these kinds of books is that you really can't get attached to any of the characters because they're not exactly the most likable people, but at the same time, because you've been reading about them, you can't help but get a little attached to them. So you definitely have your favorites. You definitely care about them, but you just can't care about them. If that makes sense. Oh, that looks good. I'll put a picture on the screen again. But right now they're at this restaurant and they're ordering a bunch of food, and the description of it just sounds so delicious. Ah, I'm so hungry. I even underlined it in the book because it sounded so good. That blue highlighter, I'm telling you. I am about to just fall asleep right here. So, my camera died last night and I was like, oh, that's okay. I'll use that as an excuse to get a little cat nap in. So I set a timer for about an hour, hour and a half, charged my camera, went to sleep, and I don't think I heard my alarm because I ended up sleeping about 10 hours. It was a good sleep, so I'm not even mad at it. 7 hours. I'm gonna hopefully finish this book and maybe start another book. Hopefully. I have that much to read in about 7 hours. Look at that. Part 2. Making progress. It is extremely nice outside, especially compared to yesterday. So I think I'm gonna try to get some fresh air. Oh, it feels like spring. It honestly feels like spring. We still have a month to wait till the technical spring day, so don't get your hopes up too much because in Wisconsin it snows in July. No, it doesn't. But it feels like it. That is so pretty. One of the things I'm so grateful that I started doing is I actually take the time to look up all of the food and the flowers and the locations that get mentioned in books. I'm back at my log. I'm on to chapter 16 of part 2 and I have about an hour and a half left before my timer runs out, so I'm gonna do my very best to speed read all of that in an hour and a half. Part 3. Two squirrels that just came pelting through the woods, like chasing each other, and they were just running super fast, making a lot of noise, and right when they saw me they both went, and they kept running in the different direction. They both just stopped dead in their tracks and were like, wait, there's a human. In other news, the sun is starting to go down, my hands are getting cold, and I've got 20 minutes and I was about to say 4 seconds, but now just 20 minutes left. I think my consensus on this book is that it's the closest I will ever get to watching reality TV. This is kind of what I imagine Keeping Up with the Kardashians is like. We're going to finish this video right where we started this video. So 24 hours are now officially up, and I'm aware that I did not read my book solidly for 24 hours. We have already talked about that in the beginning of this video, and I'm also aware that I did not really finish any book that far. And I need to still get that much done. I hear us talk about all the time about how books are the best form of escapism, and how you can get so many experiences and you can travel without ever leaving your home. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I'm looking forward to some new content coming out soon because I'm going to start becoming much more nature-based and in my opinion, more original to myself and my personality. So I will see you next week for another video. Goodbye. I just successfully dropped off the book and I ended up finding a new one, which is called The Master's Indwelling, which is all about letting God dwell within you. So I'm really excited to read that one. I'm planning on probably highlighting it again and putting it back in the box. Unless it's really good, then I might keep it forever for myself. But it's really cold out, so I'm gonna go walk home now and go inside.